Welcome to MA Crime Files. It is August 14, 2022, a warm, humid day. The video you're seeing is of a couple standing on a bridge in Tamil Nadu, India, filming their juice challenge, which was suggested by the woman in the video, Greeshma. Sharon is recording the video for his social media followers. For some reason, Greeshma does not want this challenge to be recorded. She gets annoyed and asks Sharon to turn the camera off. On the surface, everything seems innocent and playful, but there is something sinister and evil about to take place. One of these juice bottles is laced with 50 Dolo tablets. Dolo is a medication used in India as a painkiller. Consuming 10 of them will land you in a hospital. 50 is a death sentence. And that bottle is specially prepared for Sharon. Sharon starts the juice challenge. As soon as he takes a sip, the taste of the juice is so bitter that he spits out everything. Greeshma, seeing this, becomes annoyed. She thought the bitter taste of the painkiller will be masked by the sweetness of the mango juice. She pretended her juice was bitter as well and tells Sharon, "I think he sold me an expired juice." She apologizes to Sharon, tries to hide her frustration, but behind the mask, the gears in her mind are already turning. She tries 6 more times to poison Sharon. But Sharon, without even realizing, got away every single time. But his luck was about to run out. Because 2 months after this video was recorded, in October 2022, Sharon found himself laying in a hospital bed, twisting and turning in pain. His body betraying, relentless vomiting, searing pain, organs shutting down one by one. Barely, but he was clinging to life. Will Sharon make it? What drove Greeshma to betray the man she swore to love? How did he never suspected her? The answer to these questions will make you doubt the very nature of the love and trust. To untangle this mystery, I have to take you back in time. But before I do that, if you like murder mystery in a story format, please do subscribe to our channel. This is the way of you telling us that you're enjoying our content. It all began in early 2021 in the city of Thiruvananthapuram, Tamil Nadu, India. Sharon Raj, a 23-year-old radiology student, gets on a bus. His eyes met with Greeshma, a charismatic young woman. Greeshma has a bachelor's degree in English literature. She is bright, brilliant, and intellectually sharp. They start a casual conversation which ends with exchanging numbers with each other. And before you know, they start texting, calling each other day and night. Their relationship grows very fast. For Sharon, Greeshma is his world, his future wife, his everything. He's all in, ready to build his life together. But there's a tiny problem, a crack in their fairy tale that would soon splinter into a nightmare. While Sharon poured his heart into relationship, Greeshma see it differently. To her, it was a fleeting thrill, a casual fling to enjoy until something or someone better comes along. She reciprocates his affection, but her heart is not there. And on March 4th, 2022, her escape arrives. Her family arranges her engagements to Satish. Satish is serving in Indian military. To Greeshma, Satish was a better option. Security, stable job, and a promising future. And a man her parents approve. So without hesitation, she agrees to marry him. And they got engaged. When the news of this engagement reaches Sharon, he's completely destroyed. Because the future he was building in his mind no longer exists. Anyone in Sharon's situation would feel betrayed. And we have often seen people in this situation end up doing something stupid. But Sharon doesn't do any of that. Even though he's heartbroken, shattered, he gathers himself and tries to move on. But then, a bombshell, a twist that baffles everyone. Greeshma does something totally bizarre. She calls Sharon and tells him that she still loves him. "Satish is just to please my parents. You are the one I want to marry." She also tells him that if she can't convince her parents by November, she'll run away with him. Her words were like a lifeline pulling Sharon back into her orbit. Their romance reignited, more intense than ever. For Sharon, it was a Bollywood miracle. His lost love returned, his dream reborn. He wanted nothing more in his life. Unbeknownst to Sharon, it was all a diabolical lie. Sharon is madly in love, so he believes everything Greeshma tells him. At the same time, understandably, he's feeling insecure and he doesn't want to wait till November, so he proposed Greeshma. But now this was going to be a problem for Greeshma. But Greeshma, ever so cunning, comes up with a clever scheme. She tells Sharon that there is a problem with her birth chart. Sharon is kind of taken back and he asks, What do you mean? What is the problem? She tells him, according to my birth chart, my first husband is going to die a painful death. Sharon breaks out in a laugh and tells her that he doesn't believe in this superstition. Grishma's scheme backfires. Sharon, instead of retreating, he doubles down, determined to prove his love. On July 13, 2022, Sharon takes Greeshma to Vetukut Church and exchange vows in a secret ceremony. To Sharon, it was sacred. Greeshma is his wife, his forever. That night, they check into a Golden Castle Inn, consummate their marriage. 5 days later, they visited the same hotel and spent some time together. So, Greeshma is engaged with Satish to be married by November. At the same time, even though unofficially, but she is married with Sharon. None of the men knew of the other, and neither of the family had any clue. Grishma's double life is a ticking time bomb. Her lies, house of cards were hanging by a thread. What drove her to rekindle things with Sharon while engaged to another? And how far would she go to protect her carefully crafted future? The answer to that very question is going to shock you to your core. The hours turn into days and days into weeks. Greeshma was running out of time. Her double life, engaged to Satish, secretly married to Sharon, was a tightrope. And Sharon's unwavering devotion was pulling her towards the edge. She needed him gone, and she needed to look like an accident. This brings us to that fateful day on Martha Dam Bridge, where a chilling video capturing her first attempt to end his life. Greeshma grinning as she opening the mango juice bottle, which she laced it with 50 Dolo tablets. She thought the sweetness of mango juice would mask the bitterness, but the sheer volume of pills made the drink undrinkable. Sharon took one sip, gagged, and spat it out, oblivious to the poison meant for him. Her first attempt had failed, but Sharon, blinded by love, suspected nothing. What's more shocking, this wasn't her only attempt. Grishma tried to poison Sharon multiple times, each scheme more desperate than the last. Miraculously, Sharon survived, his luck holding on by a thread. But that thread was about to snap. Grishma, undeterred, began crafting her most diabolical plan yet. And this story is about to get even darker. On the night of October 13, 2022, at 11 p.m., Grishma called Sharon, her voice slutty and teasing, drawing him into an hour-long conversation that turned very explicit. She knew exactly how to play him, stoking his desire until he was a putty in her hand. "No one's home tomorrow," she whispered. "Come over and we can spend some time together." Sharon, intoxicated by her words, couldn't resist. The next morning, on October 14, he hopped on a motorcycle with his friend Regin and he sped to Grishma's house, his heart racing with anticipation. For a moment, just take yourself back when you were in your 20s. You're in a relationship, and the night before, you just had a very sexually charged conversation, and she asks you to come over because she's home alone. You can fully understand the joy and the anticipation of what was to come next would have been exhilarating. Anyways, back to the story. When Sharon arrives, Grishma leads him straight to her bedroom. Then a sly smile. she brings up a challenge. A little bit of a backstory. There's this Ayurvedic herbal tea that Grishma always used to drink every time she got sick. And even though when she wasn't sick, she believed that it improved her immunity. And it was extremely bitter. And Sharon always made fun of her for drinking that. So on this day, she tells Sharon that you have to drink this in one breath before we do anything. He grabs a glass and chugs it down in one breath. Poor guy had no idea this was one of the last thing he would ever drink. This was no Ayurvedic herbal tea. This was a drink of death. And when you find out her choice of poison, you will be stunned. Within the minutes of drinking that Ayurvedic tonic, Sharon started to feel sick. Greeshma quickly handed him a mango juice bottle to wash off the taste. But it was too late. He stumbled to the bathroom and started vomiting violently. Greeshma followed, faking concern. Sharon excused himself and staggered outside. Rajan waiting by the motorcycle. As soon as he came out, he started vomiting again. He quickly got on a motorcycle and asked him to drive him to home. And on the way, they stopped several times because Sharon was constantly vomiting. Regin later told interviews that Sharon's vomit was of a green color, something he had never seen before. As soon as Sharon reached home, he went straight to his bedroom and lay down. Greeshma, ever so cunning, continued to play her games. Over the text, she apologized profusely and blamed herself for Sharon's condition. But Sharon, ever so oblivious, started counseling her, telling her not to worry and it wasn't her fault, only if he knew. She also told him it happened to her as well. Sometimes vomiting is normal when you take that drink for the first time. So don't worry, you'll be better by tomorrow. Greeshma was neither concerned nor ashamed of what she had done. These conversations were another part of her plan. She did not want Sharon to seek any medical help, so the poison could do its job. By evening, Sharon's condition was dire. His family rushed him to Medical College Hospital in Tiruvananthapuram. His throat swelled, his body racked with relentless vomiting and searing pain. Greeshma was constantly in touch with Sharon. One of Sharon's messages reads, "I haven't even had a drink in 2 days." His final message reads, "They're taking me to ICU." His kidneys were failing, his organs shutting down one by one. Sharon's older brother, Shimon, sensed something sinister. He questioned Regin, and Regin told him the whole story about the Ayurvedic drink and the mango juice. Shimon quickly called Greeshma, demanding to know what was in the drink. Her response were evasive. "I don't know. I just buy this drink from a medical store. My mother also takes it." When Shimon pressed her about the label of the bottle, she claimed her mother has washed the bottle, so the label is washed off. October 20th. It's been 6 days since the poisoning. The judicial magistrate visits Sharon's in ICU. Barely able to speak, Sharon mustered his strength to describe the Ayurvedic drink and the mango juice. When asked if he wanted to accuse anyone, he whispered, "No." His love for Garishma, even in his final days, blinded him to her betrayal. 2 days later, on October 22nd, a flicker of hope emerged. Sharon's condition briefly stabilized. His father was granted permission to see him. As he entered, he found Sharon in tears. He went close to his bed, held his hand, and Sharon told him everything about Greeshma, about the secret marriage, even the night they spent at Golden Cast Inn. Whether it was sheer will or love for his father that gave him enough strength to speak to him for the one last time. Whatever it was, those were the final words Sharon ever muttered. Hours later, his condition plummeted. After 11 days of excruciating pain, Grishma's poison claimed his life. Sharon Raj, only 23, was gone. His family was shattered, their grief a wound too deep to bear. No parent should bury their children. Yet, Sharon's parents were burying their youngest son. Doctors and police were left reeling, grappling with chilling mystery. What could Sharon have consumed to cause such a horrific death? The autopsy revealed the answer: paraquat, one of the most toxic herbicide known to man, banned in 70 countries and in the state of Kerala due to its deadly potency. Its presence in Sharon's body was no accident. On October 31st, Greeshma was summoned to the police station for questioning. Cool and composed, she spun a tale of victimhood, claiming that Sharon was an abusive man who terrorized her. He drank that Ayurvedic tonic on his own, she insisted. The police, however, were ready. They had uncovered digital trail that unraveled her lies. WhatsApp messages, searches for can deleted WhatsApp messages be retrieved, searches about Dolo medication poisoning, and the most damning, detailed research on paraquat and its symptoms. Each click was a breadcrumb leading to her guilt. In a desperate bid to gain sympathy, she fled to the police station bathroom and pretended to drink toilet cleaner, collapsing dramatically. The police, unfazed, rushed her to the hospital, where doctors cleared her within hours. Her ploy as hollow as her remorse. The evidence were overwhelming, and Greeshma had nowhere to left to hide. But the question, where could she have bought such a lethal banned herbicides? Greeshma's uncle, the man tied to agriculture, it was him who bought paraquat, not to give it to Greeshma, but to use it for fields. Since paraquat was banned, he bought it under the table, so there was no receipt. Though the digital data is stacked against Greeshma, but police needs hard evidence to connect Greeshma with paraquat. So they arrest Greeshma's uncle and grill him for hours. Under intense interrogation, he confessed to disposing of the bottle in a nearby field to protect his niece. He led the police to the spot where they recovered the damning evidence: a discarded bottle still laced with traces of lethal herbicide. The trial was a spectacle that gripped the nation. On January 17, 2025, Additional District Session Court delivered its verdict. Greeshma's uncle was sentenced to 3 years in prison and fined 50,000 rupees for attempting to destroy evidence. But it was Greeshma's fate that sent shockwave through the courtroom. The judge, his voice heavy with disgust, declared her crime so heinous, so premeditated, and utter lack of remorse that life imprisonment was insufficient. In a historic ruling, Greeshma was sentenced to death, the first and only woman in Kerala to receive capital punishment. Desperate to escape the gallows, Greeshma and her uncle appealed in Kerala High Court. The court suspended her uncle's sentence pending review. But don't worry, Greeshma's capital punishment stood firm, a testament to gravity of her betrayal. And you'll be fooled to think if Greeshma's case was an isolated one, because here are two other cases equally disturbing and scary where men were betrayed by their women. Spoiler alert, they never saw it coming. That is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please show us some love, like the video, subscribe to our channel, share your thoughts in the comment section. Until next time, take care of yourself and your loved ones.